extra large tomatoes, just $2.49 per pound. Value pack fresh Purdue chicken thighs with drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Large inputted white eggs, just $2.50 per dozen. Minute Maid Premium Orange Juice, just $2.99 for select varieties of 59-ounce cartons. Save $1.26 on Lay's potato chips, $2.99 for a 6.5-ounce bag. All stores open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 7th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. The decriminalization of cannabis for possession of amounts of 7 grams or less is not a license for anyone to freely light up. The warning comes from Michael Weeks, the Minister of Social Development and Sports. Mr. Weeks today announced his ministry has begun an awareness campaign on this issue. Gary Moreno tells us more.
Possession of 7 grams or less of herb might not get you dragged before the courts, but you will still want to be careful, according to Minister Weeks. He asserts that while the Misuse of Drugs Decriminalization of Cannabis Amendment Act 2017 may now be law, it does not mean that if busted, you do not run the risk of finding your name on the stop list. He does hasten to add, however, the so-called Weed Act will go some way in eliminating the risk.
We have no power over the proverbial stop list. But what we have done is, since we have diminished or stopped criminal sanctions for amounts of cannabis under 7 grams, this means that a lot of our young people will not appear in court. And if it doesn't appear in court, it's not going to appear in the newspaper. If it doesn't appear in the newspaper, the chances of the American consul getting somebody's name is definitely minimized.
During his presentation in the House of Assembly today, Mr. Weeks repeatedly referred to the act as serving to prevent young black males in particular from losing out on opportunities to further themselves by not being able to travel to the U.S. for study if busted with drugs. And while it was not meant solely for the protection of young black males, he says it is with good reason that mention was made of this demographic.
In our society, which we are definitely the majority, and most young people that appear in court are young black males. And that's not something I shy away from, but that's just statistical fact.
Mr. Weeks does not share the opinion that decriminalization of small amounts of cannabis could result in increased use of the drug, which of course is still illegal. He, however, urges that good sense prevail when it comes to lighting up if you choose to do so.
Having possession and use are two different things. Right, so for us to decriminalize for possession of 7 grams still doesn't take away the powers of the police to arrest for any amount, so we still have to use our judgment.
Elsewhere, Mr. Weeks explained the public awareness campaign on decriminalization and possession of cannabis will run throughout the month of March, but will likely continue into April and May. It will include public service announcements, media interviews, as well as social media platform postings. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Published claims that the OBA MP Craig Cannonier plans to quit politics and his own party flatly denied tonight. Mr. Cannonier, a former premier, was speaking to our reporter Mike Sharp on the suggestions contained in a recent news article. It comes as his party holds a retreat to figure out a way forward.
I saw the article.
What did you think?
I wasn't interviewed. I had no say in that Royal Gazette message at all, so I don't know who they talked to. Obviously, it wasn't a friend of mine.
So clearly, to set the record straight, you're still very much. I understand you had what they call a retreat recently, and that the word is you're still very much alive and involved with the OBA.
Yeah, listen, I mean, we need not hide behind the fact that the OBA is having some challenges, okay? It's having to regroup. To take a loss like that, quite frankly, is frustrating and was frustrating for me. Everyone in Bermuda knows that I was one of the ones who put together the OBA as it was formed. To see that within a very short period of time deteriorate to where it is now, I should be concerned. and I am concerned. And I believe that there are certain things that we need to do. I'm not going to hide behind the fact that I'm frustrated at how we got to this point. But now that we're at this point, we need to rebuild and we need to refocus and get back on track. This island needs a good opposition, and that's where we need to head.
And you're going to be in the mix.
I will always be in the mix.
With the largest proportion, 46% of health spending invested in local hospitalization, the Ministry of Health and Seniors is set to undertake a significant modernization of the Bermuda Hospitals Board fees. Making the announcement today, Health Minister Kim Wilson indicated a review of the BHB is now being carried out with the aim of addressing the level of fee rates.
What we're looking to do is apply a relative resource-based unit to the fees, which is an internationally accepted, transparent methodology that utilizes a number of factors in setting fees basically based on the level of complexity, the amount of insurance coverage, liability insurance, geographical locations, and other factors or go into this matrix to actually establish the fees.
Does this mean that, in keeping with the PLP's platform to reduce healthcare, does this mean that this review is based on or looking specifically at reducing healthcare costs?
Absolutely. In fact, as you said, that is part of our throne speech initiatives, and we've indicated in our platform that that was something that we would be looking at, is taking steps to address the skyrocketing healthcare costs, and this is one step to addressing that ultimate objective.
So does this mean a reduction in fees across the board?
That process is taking place actually as we speak, applying that methodology, so we will see some of the fees associated with the hospital for certain types of procedures go up and some will be reduced.
What about in terms of the outside entities that provided diagnostic imaging?
Well, what we're doing now, like I said, the relative value is only being applied right now to the hospital, to BHB fees, and as such, at this point, that is what's being considered, and that was the purpose of this statement that was read this morning.
Okay, take note. This is for you, social media savvy viewers. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, where we post our top nightly news stories as well as breaking news 24/7. News and video anytime, anywhere, perfect for liking, sharing, and retweeting. We're on Facebook under Bermuda Broadcasting and on Twitter at ZBM News 9. So get connected and stay connected today. We'll be back.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the Breakfast Bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
Jane just got diagnosed with dementia. Her doctor recommended home care service. Jane chose Bermuda in-home care, a full home care service with certified dementia care specialists available 24/7. Jane and her family was extremely happy when the caregiver showed up on time. The caregiver prepared her meals, reminded her to take medication, helped her with personal hygiene care, and solved puzzles with her. The family chooses Lighthouse Medical Supplies to set up all her durable medical equipments. Call Bermuda In-Home Care, 705-4424. Your one-stop shop for all your home care services and medical supplies. Taking the hassle out of healthcare, call now, 705-4424.
Welcome back. The UK's Foreign Affairs Committee has criticised Britain's response to last year's devastating hurricanes, concluding the overseas territories should be better protected. Hurricanes Irma and Maria decimated islands in the Caribbean last summer, including Bermuda's sister territories, the British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Tarai Trott reports.
Britain was heavily criticized at the time for failing to send in aid and vital resources as quickly as the French and Dutch did in their affected dependencies. The BBC reporting on the results of the Foreign Affairs Committee inquiry, which found that despite the quick arrival in Anguilla by the Royal Fleet Auxiliary ship Mounts Bay, It took another 2 weeks before a joint military task force on the helicopter carrier HMS Ocean reached the region. The cross-party committee said that while the deployment of Mounts Bay was welcome, the disaster had shown the need for an overarching international disaster relief strategy for the region. The FAC further concluded that given the Caribbean's vulnerability to hurricanes, they would have expected the FCO to already have a good understanding of the resources available and agreed international strategy in place. Concern was also expressed that the UK government's ability to respond to future natural disasters in the territories could be affected by any further cuts to the Royal Navy. Bermuda, you'll recall, deployed the Royal Bermuda Regiment to the Turks and Caicos Islands for a number of weeks on a crucial disaster relief mission. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Medicine, the law, business, and even broadcasting. All professions students at Soltis Grammar School got a chance to find out about recently at their annual careers fair. Representatives of 27 diverse companies were on hand to provide information and advice. I was there with our camera operator, Kyle McNeil. It's a vital step for Year 9 students. They're deciding which GCSE courses to study, with their choice a key indicator of which university course they'll be able to take, and then what career they might follow. So the fair is important to give them some idea of what sort of job they might want to do. What did you find most interesting about today?
Just getting to know all the people in their careers and the variety of options that we have available to us.
The students' teachers say the fair plays an important role in what might be life-changing decisions.
If you want to be a doctor, you can't wait until after your GCSEs or until your AP years or IB years to say, oh, I should be doing this, this and this. Chemistry is a great example. If you haven't done chemistry in the GCSE years, it's really difficult to pick that sort of skill up going into the next year. So I think it's really important to at least get a good idea of what you want to do.
This year, staff arranged a diverse selection of professionals to offer advice to students. The Bermuda Police Service, Balco, law firms Appleby, Conyers, Dill and Pearman, airport operations firm Skyport, and the Bermuda Aquarium, Museum and Zoo were just some of the attendees.
So we've gone out to about 40 companies who have come in, done a wonderful job at presenting, and of course the great thing is we've got alumni who can come back and do this, like yourself and the young man behind the camera, Kyle. So for us it's a double whammy. We get to see our alumni back here, and you're all doing so well. It's great for our students to be able to see what is possible.
And despite their age, many of the students appear to have their minds made up already.
I want to take up law.
Well, I'm interested in the business side and in the cinematography side. Like, I guess it could work for me as a career both ways, but yeah.
And do you think that the careers fair is beneficial to you in making your decisions or your choices?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it helps us to think about what options we have and what we are interested in.
Only time will tell whether they'll stick with their specific career plans. However, it's never a bad idea to start somewhere. And here's our nightly Accuweather forecast with the latest weather picture.
Accuweather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to Accuweather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you this Accuweather forecast here on ZBM, and we've had a nice day. It has been nice, but we will be interrupted by some showers at times late tonight and into early parts of our Thursday morning. And this front that's approaching from the west is part of the same storm system that's been producing really heavy snow in parts of the northeastern U.S. So it is what they call a nor'easter in the northeastern U.S. And again, it will bring some changes to our local forecast here as we march into the late night hours. You can see the satellite estimate of where rain is falling shows that there's a pretty good stripe of rain off to the west. It'll probably lead to about a 4 or 5 hour period of time in which we do see some rain enter our own area here across the island. So clouds will increase tonight. We're at 67 degrees now. Temperatures have been pretty steady through much of the afternoon. It is breezy. That wind from the southwest still cranking at 15 to 20 knots. Humidity hovering around 60%. Water temp 65. A little cooler than where it was a few days ago. ago. And on the inside, waves are around 2 to 4 feet, but on the outside, bigger waves once again, 10 to 15 feet. It's been a really choppy stretch for a prolonged period of time since last weekend with these big waves, and they're going to be ramping up again in some form into the weekend, but probably not as bad as they were earlier this past week. So showers will invade late this evening and into the overnight hours. A lot of this will occur overnight, so if we do see rain for 4 or 5 hours, it will come kind of at a lower impact time. And tomorrow could be a few leftover showers, primarily in the morning. It will be breezy, and highs will be down to around 69 degrees. So again, similar to today, upper 60s in general. There is a small craft warning that has been extended through Friday because of the agitated seas around us. We again are coming up on high tide tonight just after midnight, 12:41 a.m. Low tide around 7:14 a.m. and then another high tide tomorrow around midday as we close in on 1 p.m. on Thursday. But again, not the best boating weather. That's the challenge for us here as we march on through the second half of this week, similar to how we started. The Gateway forecast shows that Toronto is looking chilly, but otherwise okay. New York City quieting down for Thursday after some big-time snow right now. Boston will hold on to the snow. Additional snow falls in Boston into the day on Thursday. Atlanta, cooler, only 50. That's below average for this time of the year. Miami's cooling down pretty well as well, 73 on the chillier side for them. And in London, we're back up into the upper 40s with rain showers. Also scattered showers about the Caribbean to our south. We have Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago, all dealing with more clouds than sun and some occasional showers in the neighborhood. So we have this front rolling in tonight, and it will bring the most likely time for showers overnight tonight, but there will be some lingering showers here and there Thursday, especially in the morning. Even some showers will occur Friday and Saturday. We'll get a break Sunday, and then there's a chance for some more substantial rain on Monday with the next system approaching from the west. Have a good evening out there.
Accuweather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hands is. I can do this without looking at my hands.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
Philadelphia International Medicine provides international patients with access to a unique network of world-renowned doctors and surgeons that provide personalized medical and surgical care, connecting you to the U.S.'s leading healthcare specialists who are ranked among the best in the world. Healing is possible when you're confident in your healthcare team. To find out more, contact us at physicians@philadelphiamedicine.com or call 1-215-563-4733.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Trucks. They are the lifeblood of the U.S. economy, the main reason why something can be grown in Ohio but end up on a shelf in Florida or even right here in Bermuda. But as Tony Waterman explains, the trucking industry is in for a bumpy ride.
On the road again.
It may seem old-fashioned, but trucks still transport 70% of goods across the United States. These 18-wheeled workhorses haul everything from cars to construction materials to food. But the industry is at a crossroads.
So over the last 10 to 15 years, there's really been a decline in the number of carriers or trucks that are out there because it's been a very soft market. So there have been a lot of bankruptcies and a lot of capacity has been pulled out of the market. Recently, drivers have become the new shortage, not just the trucks.
Blame it on a booming economy. As growth picks up in the U.S., demand, distribution, and the need for drivers accelerates. It also means truckers have more employment options, and driving long haul away from family for weeks isn't a top choice.
Adding to this are two other things. One, we're seeing an increase in the price of fuel in the last 2 years. And then also in December, the United States implemented electronic logging devices, or ELDs.
These ELDs make it a lot harder for drivers who traditionally log their hours with paper and pencil to fudge how long they've been on the road. Add it all up, and trucking rates are pushing an all-time high.
As these freight costs go up in the United States, does that get directly translated to the consumer that's here, looking to buy a bag of apples?
Yes, because that will be included in our final cost of product from our distributors and vendors.
Wes Jones is the director of produce at the marketplace and has been in the industry for 30 years.
Do you guys try to spread around the pain a little bit, if you will, so that it's not just the bag of apples?
Oh, yes, because, all of our containers are mixed. We're not going to pick one item and jack the price up on that. It is spread evenly across all of the products.
Jones says that after a slight bump in rates, things have returned to normal, at least for now.
I think as we get further into the summer, when you've got heavy volume off of the West Coast, anytime your demand exceeds your supply, then the prices obviously are going to go up. But, on the flip side, our distributors, our companies, they have contracts with their trucking companies.
That will help contain costs. There are other tricks, too.
Wes, when you're talking about prices, is there any way to mitigate these rising trucking costs?
Well, the biggest thing we can do is get product that is closer to the shipping point. Right now, we're bringing our strawberries out of Florida. Peak season right now, good flavor, and the cost is a lot cheaper than bringing product from the West Coast.
Because it's a much shorter distance.
Much shorter distance, so we save money, and the consumer who gets a better price to take home.
All right, one way to get around the system.
And one way to keep more dollars in your wallet. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Here's Earl Basin with the latest in sport.
Their final match in Argentina, taking on the host in a 50-over match. And after 32.3 overs, Argentina were bowled out for 99. Romero Escobar was their top scorer with 28, while Kwesi James was the pick of the Bermuda bowlers with figures of 8 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 15. Jacoby Robinson bowled 10 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 28. In reply, Bermuda reached 100 for 2, but they had the opportunity for some extra batting practice as the teams made an agreement for Bermuda to bat until they reached 200, and Bermuda scored 203 for 4. When Bermuda reached 100 for 2, Charles Trott was at the wicket on 46 not out, while Stephen Bremer was 20 not out. In the end, Trott was out for 68, Bremer was out for 28, while Mackay Simmons was 40 not out, and Taryn Frey was 32 not out. Bermuda school children are invited to participate in next month's MS Emlyn World Triathlon Bermuda Festival weekend. The Tokyo Millennium Re Kids Duathlon is Friday, April 27th, the evening before Bermuda's prestigious World Triathlon Series. Race registration is free and is now open at www.trybermuda.com. Registration is required for entry. The Tokyo Millennium Re Kids Duathlon is open to all children, including first-time participants ages 7 through 15 years. The duathlon is scheduled to start at 7 p.m. and is in 3 sections: run, bike, run, and unlike triathlon, there is no swim. Following 6 weeks of training, including every Sunday, the Work Academy Bermuda Institute Select rugby team arrived at the National Sports Center undefeated in regular season play and ready to compete in the Bermuda Schools rugby knockout stages of the league competition. The Work Academy Bermuda Institute Select started the evening off with a convincing 24-5 win against Cedarbridge, and then they took on an extremely physical team in Salters but defeated them 33-0. Meanwhile, through a relationship with Serevi, the well-known Fijian Sevens rugby player, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity was opened for Padraig O'Shaughnessy to play in the Coral Coast Sevens tournament in Fiji. O'Shaughnessy, who plays his club rugby with Peaches, was selected as a member of the Kings Select Sevens Under-19 squad to play in the 2014 tournament. O'Shaughnessy started in 3 pool games. When they had some tight matches, they would win their opening game 12-7 before finishing 12-12 with the Rugby Academy Fiji No. 2 team. They would then pick up a 29-5 win in their 3rd game. Kings Select won their pool on point difference by 1 point. In their quarterfinal match, they would take on Rugby Academy Fiji No. 2 team again, and with the score tied at full time, Kings Select scored in the 2nd period of extra time to progress. In the semifinal, they would take on the mighty Wesley College Fijians, and the Kings Select lost 24-15. This is a big month for quality gymnastics as members of the organization are to compete in 2 gymnastics meets. Firstly, the members will represent Bermuda this weekend, March 10th and 11th, at the Crystal Springs Invitational Meet in New Jersey. The following weekend, March 17th and 18th, the team will compete at the Bermuda International Gymnastics Challenge at the National Training Center in St. David's. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates would continue their winning ways as they earned their 5th win of the season in 6 tries as they defeated the University of Findlay 8-1. Finnegan and Ricardo Corona would start the team off on their winning ways, and they took down their doubles opponents 8-4. Finnegan, playing in the number 2 singles position, defeated Nicholas Kopelak in straight sets 6-3, 6-3. Walker Campbell and his William & Mary's men's golf teammates are in 16th place after the first 2 rounds of the Cleveland Pro Palmetto Intercollegiate Golf Tournament. They shot a second round 15 over par, 295, with Campbell sitting tied 87th after his second round of 12 over 82. I'm Earl Baston with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us. Fresh certified Angus boneless beef roast. Bottom round, high round, or chuck. $6.99 per pound. Extra large sweet cantaloupes. Just $3.99 each. Just $2.79 for select varieties of Ragu pasta sauce. Selected varieties of Arm & Hammer laundry detergent. $8.99 for a 75-ounce bottle. Only $1.29 for a 4-row package of 2-ply bathroom tissue. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more super specials. You can count on us.
Are you required to take one or more medications daily but have a hard time remembering when to take them? Does your family fear you may end up in the hospital because you often forget to take your meds? Or are you a caregiver looking for a time management tool designed to make your medication routine effortless? The Phoenix stores can help. With an MDS blister pack, a multi-dose packaging system that makes it easier to manage and take your medication. Each MDS blister pack contains medications for the week and is pre-packed, sealed, and labeled by a pharmacist. Prescriptions grouped by the day and the time of day you should take them, whether at breakfast, lunch, dinner, or bedtime. Plus, to ensure you're covered, each pack includes detailed, personalized instruction. Take confidence in knowing you're using your medications as the doctor planned. Visit the Phoenix stores to chat with the pharmacist and get your MDS blister pack today. The Phoenix stores, for a better life.
And that's our broadcast for this evening. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.